Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Wisconsin.
Another beautiful night for baseball in Pittsburgh, PA. Game 2 of this 3-game weekend series of Milwaukee Brewers against the Pittsburgh Pirates as the run of games against Central Division opponents continuing tonight for Ron Renicke's Brewers. Kyle Loesch in search of his first win. Pitched well for a while last week against the Pirates, but one mistake proved very costly. But he'll welcome some run support tonight here in Pittsburgh as we continue Brewers and the Pirates. Good evening from PNC Park alongside Bill Schroeder. I'm Matt LePay filling in for Brian Anderson for the next few weeks while BA is away on NBA playoff duty. Craig Deshawn, our reporter as well here this evening. And I mentioned Kyle Loesch would welcome some run support, and Ron Renicke shuffling the deck a little bit. Ryan Braun for the first time since the end of his minor league days at the top of the order.
Yeah, trying to just do something different. Ron Renicke very frustrated. His team not able to get many runs on the board. So what do? You just kind of shake it up a little bit, and you put Ryan Braun, of all people, the Brewers' number 3 hitter in the batting order, in the leadoff spot. Now, Ryan's been swinging the bat pretty well. Unfortunately, really not the base hits and the run support to show for it. But, you walk into that clubhouse, as I do every day, you kind of glance at the lineup. I had to do a double take today with Ryan Braun in that leadoff spot. Hopefully, that's going to shake things up just a little bit to get these guys going.
Yeah, Renicke said he had an even crazier lineup in mind for a while, and obviously he wasn't going to reveal that. But Ryan Braun at the top of the order here tonight. Something new in his big league career, but he seems excited about it, and hopefully that excitement will pay off tonight as they get another shot against Jeff Locke. Loesch and Locke, your pitching matchup. Game 2 of the series, Brewers and Pirates, coming up on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Another gorgeous night here in Pittsburgh. Brewer fans are out at PNC Park trying to support their team. And get him back on track. Brewers baseball, Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Book your stay now. Gorgeous night, as I said, low 70s, no threat of rain. Could get some rain tomorrow, but we worry about that tomorrow. We have perfect baseball weather here tonight for the middle game of this 3-game series as Ron Roenicke trying to get that offense kick-started, and he has shuffled the lineup here tonight in a very noteworthy fashion. Of course, the Brewers last Monday ruined the home opener for the St. Louis Cardinals, but since then it's been rough sledding, so they're trying to get the bats going. Here's the lineup presented by Potawatomi. Ryan Braun for the first time as a big leaguer at the top of the order, followed by Gene Segura and Jonathan Lucroy. Davis, Ramirez, and Hector Gomez 4 through 6. Martin Maldonado getting a starting call tonight. Same deal for Logan Schaefer out in center. He'll hit 8th. Kyle Osh is on the mound against Jeff Locke of the Pirates.
Yeah, Jeff Locke beat the Brewers back in Miller Park. He's 3-2 in 8 starts against Milwaukee, 7-6 a year ago, and a .391 earned run average in 21 starts a year ago. Pitched well down the stretch. Man, let's take a look at the Menards defense tonight. The Pirates have been pretty solid defensively so far this year. They've committed only 2 errors. That's second best in the NL. The Atlanta Braves have only committed 1 error. Outfield for the Pirates is what you talk about. Marte, McCutchen, and Polanco. A lot of speed out there. Very difficult to find those gaps for those 3 out there in the outfield.
Very good outfield, and Starling Marte was able to shake a slump last night. The Brewers trying to shake a collective slump in their lineup with a couple of exceptions. And Ryan Braun batting leadoff for the first time as a big leaguer. As a matter of fact, the last time he was at the top of the order were his final 3 games in AAA back in 2007, 3rd week of May in 2007. And the leadoff spot was good for him, even though he wasn't there very long. 5 for 11. Rocky seems excited about it. Again, it's something different. See if it shakes things up for him as well as for this team.
There's something out of the ordinary, and I think that's all Ron Roenicke is trying to do, trying to get Ryan going a little bit, put guys in different spots in the batting order. Let's see how it works.
As we are ready to get things started, the Brewers facing Jeff Locke. They saw him last weekend at Miller Park. And they get another crack at him here tonight as Ryan hitless in 4 trips last evening. Looking to get that turned around here this evening. Well, the first pitch of the night is away, and here we go at PNC Park. Locke by no means an overpowering pitcher. You see what Braun did his final few days in the minor leagues. Other than that, he thought he may have been at the leadoff spot back in high school, but he had to stretch his memory a little bit.
It's been a while, right? Well, it really doesn't matter where you hit. You know, after the first time, you're not the leadoff hitter anymore, right?
Exactly right.
Yeah, and that right there is what Jeff Locke did so well against the Brewers back at Miller Park. The fastball inside. Brewers have to be very aware of that pitch. Fastball, changeup, curveball for the left-hander.
Count is even 2-2. Locke was an all-star a couple of years ago. Did not appear in the game, but made the team. Had a terrific start in 2013, but then faltered in the second half of the season. Was up and down between the big league club and AAA last year. Braun with a base hit to center, and a good start for the Brewers tonight.
Yeah, he always has been a good leadoff hitter. I've always said that. Yeah, Locke tried to come inside on him, left it out over the plate, and Braun able to pull the hands in and shoot it into center field. Well, that's the start that Ron Roenicke was looking for, right? I mean, maybe thinking more or less a home run, perhaps, but a good start. And looking in the dugout, saying, "Yep, good job, Skip."
A good start with Braun on to lead things off here tonight. Gene Segura moves from the top of the order to 2 spot. Had a couple of hits last night.
Well, if ever a team is due to break out, it's the Milwaukee Brewers. Having an awful time scoring runs.
Well, I know we said it last night. I know you and BA have talked about it as well. I guess until you see it, you wonder. But you just with this group, knowing how capable they are offensively, there's going to be a day or maybe a couple of them where they're scoring 8, 9 runs or even 7 or 8.
Right.
Enough to take a little bit of pressure off that pitching staff.
Averaging less than 3 runs a game, and that's just not a Brewers offense.
So thus the juggling of the lineup. See Adam Lind to your right out in the lineup tonight, but Logan Schaefer is in center field. And this is hit through the right side and a base hit. Braun turning second. He's going to challenge Polanco, and he is in, and Segura gets to second.
Well, there you go. Good base running by Segura. Yeah, Polanco probably should have held on and just flipped it into second base to keep the double play in order. Tried to get Braun, who had a great jump on it. And Brawny runs fast. And once again, Gene Segura, we've been talking about it first couple of weeks of the season, that right field stroke that he and Chris Davis have been able to incorporate comes up big again. So the Brewers off to a good start.
And now a big opportunity here right out of the gate. Runners at second and third to begin the game, and Jonathan Lucroy. Chance to pick up his first RBI, or maybe plural here, RBIs in inning number 1. He has had a good history against Locke. Jonathan scuffling as he is out of the gate this season. 6 for 15, including a home run against the Pirates left-hander.
Yep, got a base hit in yesterday's ball game, and then been hitting some balls on the nose. A little bit of it is bad luck, but Lucroy will be the first to tell you he's just not feeling all that great at the plate.
Lucroy playing first tonight, by the way, is Martin Maldonado getting in the lineup tonight. He'll be catching Kyle Loesch. Lucroy telling reporters a couple of days ago, it's not like he's in a panic mode. He's just, and I'll reword it, he's ticked off at how things are going.
Right.
You get the idea.
I think they all are.
Yes, they are.
You just sense it around the batting cage. I mean, these guys know they're better than this, and they know that they're going to be able to score some runs. They just can't figure out why.
Take a look at our DraftKings player to watch, Mr. Lucroy. Play daily fantasy baseball for free on DraftKings.com, the official daily fantasy partner of Major League Baseball. Enter promo code CREW.
Yeah, had 5 walks to that against Jeff Locke, so he's been on base quite a bit.
2-1 the count. Fly ball to right. Polanco. As Braun tags, catcher's made, and Braun will score uncontested, and the Brewers grab the early lead. They'll take that. Sacrifice fly from Lucroy. 1-0 the Crew.
Going to make an out, advance the base runner, and Lucroy able to drive it deep enough. Polanco's got a terrific throwing arm, and that's why Gene Segura could not advance to third base. It was a pretty good throw into third. Would have been a close play.
Good to see some smiles and high fives in that Brewers dugout. Brewers break on the scoreboard. Segura the runner at second. Batting average with runners in scoring position being as low as it is, you'll take runs any way you can. Again, this early stage, statistics can really be out of whack. You just figure, and you hope, but you figure that it's going to start to level off or become more of a favorable statistic for the Brewers as we move along. Chris Davis hitting in the cleanup spot tonight. Had 3 hits last night. He too, as we have talked about, like Segura, doing a great job of going to the opposite field. Davis doubled, had a couple of singles, scored a run last evening. Taking something off, and Davis down 2 strikes.
Yeah, changeup. He throws a lot of changeups to the right-handed batters. He'll throw the curveball to righties and lefties. He's got a good one. More changeups than curveballs for Locke.
0-2 to Davis. Segura dancing off the bag at second. Neil Walker over there checking him. Is Walker back in the lineup tonight? With a pinch hit roll last night, but otherwise had the night off.
A scheduled night off.
Yes.
Ben Hurdle had that planned all along.
Davis goes down swinging. 2 men out here in the first.
Jeff Locke doesn't mess around too much. He's not going to walk too many. We talked about the arsenal of change-ups. He throws another one in. Davis tried to pull it. He hasn't tried to do that too much so far this year. He's got a good right field stroke going, but tried to pull that change-up.
Here's Aramis Ramirez. He too trying to turn things around at the plate. Again, Locke, anything but overpowering, but he can be effective.
And he's not afraid to pitch inside. That's what makes that changeup so effective. Worked inside the right-handers a lot back in Miller Park this year. Get him thinking inside, then he tries to throw that changeup and even the curveball on the outer half.
Fastball misses. Count evens 1-1. Checking some Central Division action earlier today. Cardinals beat the Reds again 5-2, and the Cubs in extra innings back in 11 outscored the Padres 7-6. We'll see the Reds at Miller Park starting Monday, and the Cardinals next weekend. There's a chance for Jordy Mercer at short, and that'll do it for the Brewers. However, they break on the board. Ron Renneke shuffling the lineup, but it worked. Braun single came around to score. On Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. And by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. Much needed good start for the Brewers, getting a run at the top of the first. Now Clint Hurdle sends his guys to the plate. Who's the Potawatomi Pirates starting lineup. Batting order tonight: Josh Harrison, Gregory Polanco, and Andrew McCutchen at the top. Walker, Marte, and Alvarez in the middle. Francisco Cervelli, Jordy Mercer, and Jeff Locke rounding out the batting order against Kyle Loesch. Making his third start of the season for the Crew.
Yeah, much better. His second time out at Miller Park against the Pirates. 5 strong innings, then gave up a 3 spot in the 6th.
There was one big mistake. He's pitching pretty well, but made a mistake, and Andrew McCutchen turned it into a costly mistake with a 3-run opposite field homer.
Yeah, Kyle has not walked a batter yet this year. Not many, no walks, not many strikeouts. Had a rough time on opening day at Miller Park, but as you mentioned, much better second time out.
And that game was tight, and then the Pirates blew it wide open in the ninth, putting 6 on the board. And a 2-1 lead became a 4-2 deficit. That McCutchen homer last weekend. Yost, though, historically has been very effective against the Pirates. Back up the middle, and that's through. Harrison, a leadoff single.
Well, time to check out the Brewers defense, brought to you by Menard. Got some changes here tonight. Logan Schaefer in center field. Gerardo Parra sits this one out. Hector Gomez at second. Martin Maldonado gets a start behind home plate, and that moves Jonathan Woodcroy to keep his bat in the lineup over to first base for the first time this year.
We'll look at Logan Schaefer and Mr. Lucroy at first. Gregory Polanco at the plate, and that's it in the air, left center field, and that's going to go all the way to the wall. Running it down is Davis. Harrison rounding third. He will score. RBI double for Gregory Polanco, and we're tied at 1.
I'm not messing around. I'll tell you, Polanco hammers that pitch to the opposite field. That's a big gap out there. It's deep out there in left center. All the way to the wall. Fastball away. From what we've seen from Polanco in a short sample size, he likes the ball out there. He drives it to the opposite field. We saw him last night. And the Pirates tie it, taking only 2 batters to do it.
The Pirates were a slumping team offensively coming into this series. Broke through last night, getting 6 runs, and they get a quick one here tonight as they get that run back that the Brewers put on the board in the top half of this first inning. This is Andrew McCutchen. It was this 3-run bomb that turned the game around against Loesch and the Brewers last week at Miller Park.
And a fastball up and away, hit it to right field.
He's hit 3 homers in his career off of Loesch. It's been well documented. His power numbers, his overall offensive numbers against the Brewers through the years, very, very good.
Yeah, he's some kind of hitter. I mean, he takes the ball to the right field very well. He can pull it. Stays on the baseball very well. That's why he has some success against Kyle Loesch. Doesn't try and pull the ball all the time.
Loesch misses away. 2 balls, 1 strike for the Pirates center fielder. Already some offense tonight, and we are just getting started. It's 3-1 to McCutchen. Harrison started this inning with a single to center. Polanco with a double to left center. Long look in. Hector Gomez, second baseman, shading a bit towards second to try to keep Polanco close, but it's ball 4. And McCutchen is on. The Pirates have him at first and second.
Yep, not biting. Tried to throw the cutter to get McCutchen to chase. He wouldn't do it. It's all about command for Kyle Loesch. Not overpowering for sure. 89, 90 miles an hour. Repertoire of off-speed pitches, and imperative that he gets ahead in the count to get these guys to chase with 2 strikes.
And now Neil Walker. Pinch hitting role last night, struck out. But he, along with McCutchen, put up very gaudy numbers against the Brewers. Walker coming off a very good year again last season. With 23 home runs, the most ever by a Pirates middle infielder. Polanco off the bag at second, McCutchen at first.
He just doesn't have that command, right? No. I mean, that pitch right there, that two-seam fastball. That's the ground ball pitch for Kyle Lohse. Well, if you don't get it on the plate, or at least close, they're not going to bite on it.
Kyle trying to settle things down. Has yet to retire a hitter. Mentioned on opening day, it was a very rough outing against a very good offensive team in the Colorado Rockies.
Yeah, the Rockies continue to swing the bats. They're batting average near 300 as a team.
Yeah, that's the one of the exceptions. You've read and you've probably heard a lot about the numbers being down throughout most of baseball, the offensive numbers. But a team like the Rockies, not so much. The Dodgers nearly 280 as a team. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
There's a good changeup right there. 2-1 count. You knew that Neil Walker was thinking fastball, and he dropped the changeup on it. Good pitch.
Take a look at a gorgeous night in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, got the breeze blowing out the right. Never good news for pitchers.
Little chopper. And that's Lucroy for the out. Runners advance. There's the first out of the inning. Runners at second and third. Talk about teams that are scuffling right now, and you certainly are very aware of the Brewers' troubles, but the San Francisco Giants have lost, 8 in a row now. They're continuing their series with the Diamondbacks. It's the longest losing streak, I think, for the Giants. Thought I saw since 06.
Yeah. It's a little too early for the Giants to start winning.
They wait. You are correct.
They wait for the second half.
Starling Marte with a shot to left field, a base hit. It'll score 1, and it will score 2. It's 3-1 Pittsburgh. Polanco and McCutchen come around. 2-run single for Starling Marte.
Yeah, Marte's starting to feel it up there at the plate. Let's see what it is. Look at that cutter. He likes to pull the baseball, and he hooks it into left field off the end of the bat. And because it wasn't hit all that hard, McCutchen able to score. Davis hits a cutoff man to keep Marte at first base. So another rough start for Kyle.
Pedro Alvarez steps in. Drove in a run, 1 for 3 last night. Pirates were a running team last evening. Stole 3 bases. Josh Harrison did get caught trying to steal.
Man, Lohse does a good job holding runners. Maldonado with a great arm, but Kyle with a lot of off-speed pitches, which are normally good pitches to run on.
Yeah, the Pirates after the game last night, some of their guys talking about, and Ron Renicky as well alluded to it before today's game, that sometimes the catcher, it's too much, and you'll back me on this, it's too much on the catcher.
Right.
How many runners you get stealing.
Yeah, they were getting good jumps last night.
They were. Oh, 0-1 to Alvarez. The Pirates, after giving up a run in the top of the first, have countered with 3 here in the bottom half. Still just 1 out. Checking those other scores involving Central Division teams. I mentioned the Cubs winning, and Since we told you about Chris Bryant yesterday and his tough day at the plate, we should, in fairness, tell you that it was much better for the Phenom today. 2 for 3, walked 3 times. So they'll probably keep him up with the big club for a while.
Yeah, he's going to hit.
Yeah. They've got Marte hung up, or do they? Here's the throw to second, and it struck Marte. So he'll get second.
Well, Marte he was way off of first base. Maldonado with the snap throw. He just kept going to second. Knew he wasn't going to be able to get back to first, and a little inexperience by Lucroy. You got to clear the runner. You got to do a little bit of a crow hop to get out of the way of the runner. He hits him right in the back. That'll be a stolen base.
Yes, it will. We'll remind ourselves Luke's still learning some of the nuances of playing first.
Right. Can't throw the baseball through the runner.
Bouncing ball. Lucroy will handle it. And that is out number 2 with Marte moving to third. Wonder, Rock, going back to spring training when Jonathan had to miss time early because of the hamstring. There was some work maybe in store for him at first that was missing. And he'll handle this role when he's put over there. They want that bat in the lineup, but
well, he didn't play a lot over there also because they wanted to look at a lot of other guys to see if they could do it. Gerardo Parra, you had Jimenez going over there to play first base quite a bit. Maldonado can play first. So, yeah, they know Lucroy can do it.
Adam Lind getting the night off. Francisco Cervelli. 7th spot tonight. He was hitting second last night. So he bounces back between those 2 spots in the order. Good defensive catcher. He's quickly earning the respect.
And he can run. He runs pretty well. Good changeup. Brewers have hit him twice with pitches so far this year. Trying to work him inside.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Valencia, Venezuela, but he does have some Italian blood. His father was Italian.
There you go.
Or is Italian.
Still is. Chopper is foul. Ball, 2 strikes.
Still is. You're right.
No shortage of offense here tonight, at least in this first inning. See if Loesch can prevent further damage.
Yeah, 25th pitch coming up for Loesch. Last thing he needed. Ron Renick needs a long start from Kyle today.
Just misses. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Talking about the bullpen's been used quite a bit. Needs a long start. This is not a good way to get a long start with a big high pitch count in the first inning.
Yep, number 26 coming up. On the line, but foul. The first 3 Pirates reached. Harrison a single, Polanco a double, McCutchen walked, Starling Marte a 2-run single. Two balls, 2 strikes to Francisco Cervelli. Lucroy has to go to, or rather Maldonado has to go down and get it. So a very busy first inning for Kyle Loesch. He's 2-1 against the Pirates last year, and in his career is 11-4 against Pittsburgh. That's over 23 starts. 381 earned run average. That will end the inning. So Loesch prevents any further scoring, but the Pirates put 3 on the board and the early lead.
Baseball on Fox Sports. Wisconsin Pirates a lead over in Milwaukee as we go to the top of the second inning. Hector Gomez set to lead off in this new lineup here for Milwaukee. It's his third start in 11 games already on the season, and he's been an interesting one to watch here early in the season because Ron Roenicke selected him among others to help out defensively, mostly off the bench, because he thought the hitting would be there for Milwaukee's starters. That really hasn't been the case in his limited time. Gomez with 3 doubles already. He's had some very good at-bats as well, and maybe providing a little bit of competition for Scooter Gennett over at second base early in the season, too. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
That's right. If Scooter's not able to handle left-handers, I mean, Gomez is going to get some playing time as long as he keeps hitting. The key is, I mean, with a young player, you got to get him in the lineup and keep him hot like he was in spring training. He's got some pop in that bat. He's a big kid.
As Craig said, his third start, and all have been against the Pirates. A couple last week. And 3 for 5 in his action against Pittsburgh last weekend.
You can play him anywhere in the infield, and he's got a terrific throwing arm.
Look at Scooter. There's a 2-strike pitch. Roenicke talking about Gomez and about all the bench players. It's some pretty good defense that he believes he has. Obviously with Logan Schaefer, who's in the lineup tonight. Parra, who is not in the lineup tonight. He was last night. So he has some good gloves to turn to. Now they're just looking for more bats. Gomez.
Right. You got
to number 2.
You need to get better defense. You need to score some runs and get more consistent pitching. Other than that,
all good.
Right. Another good changeup from Jeff Locke. Jeff Locke, he's thrown a lot of them already today.
Martin Maldonado settles in. Go back to that All-Star season 2 years ago for Locke. He started 8-1. And then things unraveled a bit in the second half. Went 2-6. He was 7-6 last year, up and down.
Got to make adjustments, right? I mean, a lot of players have started out pretty well in the first half. First time through the league, hitters make adjustments. And apparently Jeff Locke did not do that in the second half. He hadn't been able to find that inside corner yet. Brewers keep taking it, but it's been in off the plate. Brewers are hoping when he misses out over the plate and get a pitch to drive.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
And he drops a 2-seamer right on the outside corner. It's much more difficult to cover inside and outside for a hitter than it is up and down.
High chop back to the mound. And Locke will take care of it. 2 men out here in the second.
Hey, vote for the item you want to see as the Brewers' final all-fan giveaway this season. Choose from 5 options that include a knit cap, team scarf, trucker hat, duffel bag, and a Hank cereal bowl. Visit brewers.com/fanvote to rank your favorites.
Outstanding.
You have a dog?
Not yet. Still working on that.
No?
No. It's kind of sad.
Well, you travel too much.
You, however.
I have a dog and I travel all the time. Yeah. So does the wife.
See, mine doesn't quite so much now. So no excuse. Logan Schaefer getting a starting call tonight. I have met Hank, though. I think everybody has met Hank.
Hasn't been around the ballpark too much this year.
Well, laying low. Bouncer to Neil Walker, and that will do it for the Brewers in the second. Locke puts him down in order for an inning and a half. 3-1 Pittsburgh. 3-1. Pirates lead the Brewers. Fans, vote for your MVP and help us decide which Fox Sports supports partner will be crowned the winner. The charity with the most votes at the end of the year will score big with a donation from Hupie and Abraham. Choose from American Heart Association of Wisconsin, Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Milwaukee, or Fisher House, Wisconsin. To vote, visit foxsportswisconsin.com/supports. Second inning of work for Kyle Loesch. He was roughed up in the first to the tune of 3 runs, and he'll begin by facing Jordy Mercer in the home half of the second. Kyle still trying to find that rhythm.
Yeah, trying to find that release point and that comfort level out on the mound, and it's been a struggle so far tonight. And that pitch right there, the cut fastball, and a good bit off that outside corner. Rick Kranitz keeping a close eye on him, see if he can help him out.
Mercer was 1 for 4 last night. Loesch evens the count. Pirates enter the game 4-6. The team that we talked about, the Brewers' struggles. The Pirates last year had a tough first month. Went 10-16. There's a ground ball to Lucroy. He's had 3 chances already. There's out number 1.
Yeah, they're testing him, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Although the ground balls are the baseballs that are directed at him have been weakly hit. Had to make a throw to second base. He did hit a base runner. Ball finds you, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
I mean, you're out of position a little bit, although he has played some first base, but the baseball gods will get you. They test you.
Yes, they do. So last weekend when Carlos Gomez had to come in, play second base for an inning, and just figure, oh no, but got out of it unscathed. Nothing was directed his way. So we hope for a speedy recovery for Gomez. Yesterday put on the 15-day disabled list.
We're talking 2-3 weeks for Gomez.
Yeah. There's a fly ball off the bat of Jeff Locke, and Logan Schaefer will squeeze it for the second out of the inning.
That is a key component to this Brewers ball club that is out on the disabled list. Carlos Gomez.
Well, UPA talked about it, and I was standing around with you guys the other day in St. Louis, and for those who didn't catch your conversation, before the game, Carlos is out ready to take BP, and he was telling you, I feel a little bit tired today, and then the next thing you know, he's out wrestling around, laughing and joking. His definition of tired is a lot different than most of the rest of us.
They say a little bit tired, a little bit banged up, a little sore, but didn't keep him from wrestling with Luis Jimenez around the batting cage in St. Louis.
Harrison with a liner to right, and Braun runs it down, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Kyle Loesch. Much better. 3-2. It's 3-1 Pittsburgh. leading the Brewers here at PNC Park. Time now for our Carsoup.com trivia question. Which member of the Brewers staff is one of just 14 players to hit 3 homers in a game in both the National League and the American League? Which member of the Brewers staff, one of just 14 players ever to hit 3 homers in a game, both in the National League and the American League? It's a good one.
Yeah. You can eliminate a lot of guys from that list.
Kyle Loesch had a hit in his first at bat this season. Would this be one of those that you might eliminate?
Yeah, Eddie never played in the major leagues. I don't think it's Rick Kranitz. Lee Tunnell, probably no.
That's fair. What about him?
Maybe, could be.
Don't let us fool you. Don't think we're all doing this process by elimination. Loesch goes down swinging. That's strikeout number 3 for Jeff Locke.
Could be one of those 2 guys.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty good chance it's one of those 2.
Mr. Shelby on the right. Mr. Coles on the left. Jerry Narron. We're just running down all the potential candidates here.
Yeah. Not Eddie.
Just to be clear.
Not Mike Guerrero.
Lineup turns over. Ryan Braun singled and scored in the first. If you're just checking in, this is the first time in his big league career that Ryan Braun has led off. And the early returns are favorable. Let's go back to his AAA days, the end of his AAA days.
Yeah, these are the kind of things that we're talking about with Carlos Gomez on the disabled list. These are the things you have to do. Experiment. That's how much he's missed in that lineup.
In the air to right. Polanco. No problem. 2 men out.
But you have to press on. I mean, injuries are a part of the game. You have to be able to figure out a way to make up for it.
Here's Gene Segura. Steps in with 2 men out. Time now for the T-Mobile game changer. As we see Segura. The Brewers might be scuffling as a team, but Segura is doing what he can. 333 coming in, singled his first trip.
Yeah.
And Rock, it's his approach. I know that impresses you so much, how he is staying back, taking the ball the other way.
Hands are just a little bit different right now than they were last year, but it's all about staying back and keeping the weight back, not drifting as the baseball comes to him. And because of that, he's been able to stay on the baseball, not swinging at as many bad pitches.
In the hole, it's short and through and into left field, a base hit.
Oh, and getting base hits.
Oh, by the way,
that's somewhat important.
This is the Segura we saw the first half of 2013.
Yep. He tried to throw the breaking pitch. It was down and in, but watch the way he stays back. That's a good balance at the point of contact. Last year he would have been on that front foot and would have swung right over the top of that baseball or beat it into the ground. It would have been an easy out.
Jonathan Lucroy. Fly ball brought Braun home in the first inning. Segura's going. Pitch is taken. Throw down to second, and Segura is in easily. There you go. Brewers getting a running game going here, which is something that has not been the case through the first 10 ball games.
No, the second stolen base for the Brewers so far this year. Segura's got them both.
He does.
That's a good throw by Cervelli, but the left-hander Locke not paying much attention to Segura, and he goes in the first move. Must have had something on him. Ed Cedar studies pitchers' moves a lot and must have had something on him, and it was kind of a walking lead, and he took off. The second Ed Cedar reference in this inning.
A lot of time here for Eddie. Segura had 20 steals a year ago, 44 2 years ago.
Every pitcher does a certain thing that will tip off whether they're going home or they're going to first base. It's different with everyone. Brewers won't let on what those things are, but Segura apparently knew what something was going on.
Well, let's see if Lucroy can pick him up, but he's down a ball, 2 strikes to Jeff Locke. And that is strike 3. They'll have to complete the play, and they do. But maybe he got a piece. Obviously, he did not. And the inning is over. Segura left stranded at second. Through 2, it's 3-1 Pittsburgh. Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Book your stay now. Bottom of the 3rd here at PNC. 3-1 Pittsburgh. 2, 3, and 4 hitters in the lineup for the Pirates, beginning with Gregory Polanco. RBI doubled. Scored in the first. Having himself a nice series. After getting 3 hits last night and stealing a base. Kyle Loesch, after giving up 3 in the first frame, retired the Pirates in order in the second. Back in the first inning here is Polanco going the other way. We talk about pitch speed. Well, there's hit speed. The edge of 102.
He's got good leverage. I mean, he's tall. He stands up tall in that batter's box. And talk about leverage. He gets those arms extended. He likes the baseball away from him. We've seen it a couple of times in this series. Driving baseballs to left field.
Very highly touted Gregory Polanco. Came up last year, had an 11-game hitting streak to begin his big league career. And had a little more of a roller coaster ride after that. The right field job is his. Part of a very good outfield here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, they've got some speed. They all can hit. They're all pretty streaky, except for McCutchen, I guess. Marte and Polanco can be pretty streaky. Good stretches, bad stretches. That guy's about as consistent as anybody in baseball.
Andrew McCutchen on deck. The payoff. And Polanco on again. They are having a world of trouble. The Brewers are getting him out.
Tried to throw a 3-2 changeup and not even close. Hey, the Brewers continue their stretch of divisional games as Todd Frazier and the Cincinnati Reds come to Miller Park Monday, April 20th through Thursday the 23rd in a 4-game series. For tickets, call 414-902-4000 or go to Brewers.com.
Reds losing earlier today in St. Louis. Cardinals on a nice little roll right now. They won 5-2 this afternoon. Here's Andrew McCutchen. Talk about good young players. Did you see the home run that Bryce Harper hit earlier today?
I did. I did. A bomb.
Wow.
Dead center field.
They were saying they have not seen one hit at that deep, that part of the park in the history of that yard. I mean, he just crushed it. This is popped up. Maldonado has room. There's the first out of the inning.
That's a good pitch, getting in on his hands. I guess if Harper hit that baseball here, it would have hit the top of the batter's eye in center.
You're right.
Here's that pitch we were talking about. Fastball up and in. It looked like Maldonado wanted it away, but worked out well for Loesch. Got the pop out.
Yeah, the Phillies won that game against the Nats 5-3, but that home run was a head turn. A lot of bright young stars in this game today, and Bryce Harper clearly is one of them. Here's Neil Walker. Grounded out to Lucroy in the first. Polanco stole a base last night and also was running and was able to go all the way around to third on a ground ball to short. So Pittsburgh very aggressive on the bags last night. Yeah, they're very aware.
They've got speed up and down that lineup. Even their catcher can run a little bit.
Strike to Walker. He faced Michael Blazek last night. Blazek struck him out. Walker in a pinch hitting role. Pirates broke that game open last night with a 3-run 8th inning. Big blow off the bat of Marte, who was on deck. One and one to Walker. Rolled over to Hector Gomez. And the play is at first. 2 men out. Polanco advances to second.
That's a good pitch by Loesch, down and in. Took a little bit off of it. And second time Neil Walker has been out in front. It's so important when you're not throwing hard. You rely on that off-speed stuff. Not only throw it for strikes, got to keep it down. Down in the strike zone, you get the swing and a miss, you get the ground ball.
Here's Starling Marte. This time last night we were talking about his slump. Came into the series 29 at bats. He struck out 14 times. But he has been a tough out here so far this weekend.
And all the strikeouts is why he's no longer a leadoff hitter. Yeah, Josh Harrison, the leadoff hitter, started that last year. More of a contact hitter, still has pretty good speed. This is definitely a top of the order type of hitter in Marte if he makes more contact.
Ground ball in the hole. Segura backhands up, throwing, got him. Nice play, Gene Segura. Wow.
I'll say.
That was pretty. And that will do it here for the Pirates, we think. There will be no challenge here, I don't think. Clint Hurdle.
Clint Hurdle's going out. They want to take another look at it.
They might.
Pretty close. I don't think they're going to do it.
They will not challenge. Nice play by Segura to end the inning. 3-1 Pittsburgh. Brewers 3-1. Gene Segura with a sweet play to end the bottom half of the third. Worth another look, courtesy of Columbia St. Mary's.
Yeah, look at his throwing arm, off balance and sidearm, and Jonathan Lucroy able to grab it. But if you look at the way Lucroy caught that baseball, as we take another look at the terrific throwing arm of Gene Segura, you see the way Lucroy's stretching. He's almost stretching with his foot, his leg towards center field. Now, if he has his foot more in this direction, I think that play is not as close as it seemed to be right there. You see the way he was stretched toward the baseball. Again, the inexperience at first base for Lucroy.
Well, the Pirates considered a challenge, but determined there wasn't enough there to give that a whirl. So nice play by Segura.
First telestrator work of the season, by the way.
That's outstanding. More where that came from. Right?
All the nuances, playing a position that you're not used to, that can help your team, and you learn how to stretch and stretch properly. You position your body in a certain way. You can get outs where sometimes you're not going to be able to do it.
Chris Davis goes down for the second time. Out on strikes for the second time.
Hey, Jeff Locke has it on Chris Davis. I mean, as good a hitter as Davis has been, he just has a tough time against Locke.
Yeah, he does now. 1 for 15. Aramis Ramirez steps in with more on Rami. Send it down to Craig Kashawn.
Well, he's 36 years old, announced his retirement, that this would be his last baseball season. Began his career here in Pittsburgh in 1998, but he's scuffling out of the gates here. And almost on a daily basis, Ron Reineke is asked, when are you going to rest Rami? When are you going to rest Rami? It may come tomorrow, but, Ron's big goal is to let him play so he can get that bat swinging again, and how much that would mean for this club right now. He says he's been getting some good at-bats lately, but really wants him to get on base and start producing. No question about that.
Yeah, you need to get the at-bats, and with the off days, the Brewers have been able to keep him in the lineup. How about that play by the ball girl down the right field line?
I think that's Heidi, if I saw the name right on the back.
That was a heck of a play.
And very nonchalant about it, as though she makes that kind of play all the time.
That's going to make some highlight shows tonight. Look at that. Kidding me? Save those two folks down there. The one guy I don't think knew the ball was coming.
He had no idea.
Actually, lady, I'm sorry.
Nicely done.
She should be thanking Heidi.
Yes, she should. 0-2 to Ramirez. And right into the shift. That's Walker, and that's out number 2. A look of frustration there from Aramis Ramirez. 2 men out. Now Hector Gomez to the plate.
Yep, hit it hard, but the shift got him. 10 years ago, that's a base hit. It didn't shift like that back in those days. Not even that long ago. Maybe 6.
Yeah, I would say just the last handful of years, and it doubles, it triples year to year.
Yeah,
quadruples.
Yeah, there were some guys that you had to shift on, but they were few and far between. Now there's shifts on just about everybody.
And these two teams do it a ton, more than most, as a matter of fact. But everybody does it a lot more than they used to. Clint Hurdle, I think, has that old school reputation, but as he said, he's all in with this now.
Well, you have to be. Yeah. I mean, it takes away base hits.
It's on the hitter to be able to adjust. There's a bouncing ball to third. That's Josh Harrison, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Jeff Locke. No pitchers settling in. 3-1 Pirates. Here in Pittsburgh. Every weeknight, don't miss MLB Whip Around on Fox Sports 1 with highlights, instant analysis, and live look-ins from around the league. MLB Whip Around, weeknight 6 p.m. Central on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Home half of inning number 4, Pedro Alvarez. A ground ball to Lucroy at first. His first trip in inning number 1. All 3 of the Pirates' runs coming in that first inning. 4 of the first 5 hitters reached. And Kyle Lohse has settled down a bit. They need him to keep settled and try to get this offense going.
Yeah, needs some quick innings. Ron Renicky needs him to extend himself tonight. 7 innings, it would be nice, according to Ron Renicky.
Hit hard, going down and getting it is Lucroy. He's getting a few chances here, and another one there, out number 1.
Yeah, that was a bullet. He went down like a catcher to smother that baby.
Yes, he did.
No way that's getting by him.
One out for Francisco Cervelli. Struck out to end the first inning. Cervelli getting his opportunity to be a regular. He's been a backup. He's battled injuries. A tough act to follow here.
Yeah, big shoes to fill, right? More ways than one.
And he punches one through in the right field. First to the night for Cervelli.
Well, that big hit brings us to tonight's Tavern of the Game winner. It's Miller's Tavern in Ripon, Wisconsin. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game this year. It's offered courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. Been to Ripon?
It's been a while.
Up there by Oshkosh?
Of course, yeah. It's been a while. You?
Rough first inning, but he's been able to manage his pitch count pretty well since.
1 out, 1 on for Jordy Mercer. There's a bouncing ball. Segura. He'll flip the second one on to first, not in time. 6-4 on the force. 2 men out. Mercer, the new runner.
That's a heck of a throwing arm for Hector Gomez. You see the way he threw that baseball sidearm and flat-footed and threw a bullet over there to Lucroy at first. Mercer off the end of the bat. They get one. Look at this throw. Goodness, that's something on that.
Craig Sean telling us earlier, Ron Renicky before the game, it's a big part of the appeal with Gomez, what he can do defensively.
Good hands, good range, and a terrific throwing arm. Maybe the best throwing arm on the team.
Getting his 3rd start of this young season tonight. Pitcher versus pitcher. And low shot in front, 0-2. See if he can end this quickly. The answer is yes. Down goes Locke. Down go the Pirates here in the 4th. Through 4. It's 3-1. Buccos. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. By Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. And by Hupy and Abraham. 1-800-800-5678. Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. That's St. Mary's Church. A part of this beautiful city of Pittsburgh. On a gorgeous night in Western PA. Top of the fifth we go. It is 3-1. The Pirates leading the Brewers 7, 8, and 9 in the order here from Milwaukee. Martin Maldonado to lead things off. Maldi getting the start behind the plate tonight. McCroy over at first. Hit .234 last season, did Martin. 30 starts, played 52 games overall. A look at the shift there briefly the Pirates have on him.
And one of the better backup catchers in all of baseball. When you talk about defense, throwing arm, takes his job behind home plate, calling a game very seriously. Even when he's not in the starting lineup, he's in that pitcher's meeting.
Maldonado down on strikes. It's the sixth strikeout for Jeff Locke here.
Yeah, he's racking them up. Most of them coming on the changeup and the curveball.
Locke pitched well against the Brewers last year in 3 starts. A win, a loss, and a no decision. And as it turned out, each of his starts he faced Giovanni Gallardo. Lost a game 1-0 in June. Winning pitcher late August and a no decision in September. His ERA was 2.25. Logan Schaefer, a bouncing ball. That's Mercer. That's out number 2.
And pitching well tonight, really hasn't been able to command that fastball into the right-handed batters. He's been missing in off the plate. But he's got the changeup working, the fastball, the two-seamer on the outside corner, and he's been able to get some outs, particularly strikeouts with his curveball tonight. He works quickly. Infielders like that.
This is the Locke that I would think people around here are saying this is the guy that we saw a couple of years ago, especially in that first half of the season. Just 27 years old from North Conway, New Hampshire. (2-0) to Kyle Loesch. Three balls, one strike. Brewers' lone run coming in the first. And Locke battles back, and the count is full. Hit in the air to right. Routine for Polanco. And Locke is rolling along. Side retired in order. Halfway through, it's 3-1, the Pirates.
Brewers baseball here on Fox Sports. Wisconsin Pirates with the lead going in the bottom of the 5th inning. On Monday, June 29th, Davey Nelson will again host his celebrity golf tournament in support of Brewers Community Foundation and Open Arms Home for Children, an organization located in South Africa which serves as an orphanage for children struggling to survive. Open Arms provides shelter, clothing, and basic health care for children, assuring them a better chance at life in the future. Join Davey and friends at Whistling Straits for a fantastic day of golf and fundraising. Register at brewers.com/Davey. And Clint Hurdle was telling me the other day, Davey holds a special place in his heart. Helped break him in the majors in 1978 with the Kansas City Royals. Way to go, Davey. Clint's enjoyed quite the playing career and managerial career as well.
Yeah, Craig, Clint Hurdle was a phenom, very highly regarded magazine cover guy, the whole deal.
Yeah. David Nelson, a good man. He did a lot of good work in the community. He always has that golf outing when the team's on the road, though. We're going to be in Philly. What's up with that?
So you will not get to.
I'll be there in spirit.
Yeah. Could have missed the Whistling Straits out.
You going to go?
Have you ever seen me golf? I love the cars, but a guy like me with that would I'd take the air out of. I mean, have you seen my golf?
They take their donations back?
They might, yes.
It's all about the charity, though, Matt.
It is. But you are exactly right. And it doesn't get a lot prettier than Whistling Straits, I might add.
Yeah.
Josh Harrison leading off the bottom of the 5th. Singled and scored in the 1st, and a fly ball to right in the 2nd. All of the scoring tonight in the 1st inning. Nice work to this point from Loesch, settling down after a very rocky beginning. As a matter of fact, since that 1st inning, the Pirates have managed just one more hit.
There was one inning that bit him in that start against the Pirates back in Miller Park. We talked about that 3-run 6th inning.
And a 3-run homer from Andrew McCutchen. A 2-2. We'll do it again. The big blow in the 1st tonight was the 2-run single from Starling Marte. Again with a 2-2.
Changeup, everything away, down and away to Josh Harrison, but that changeup up in the strike zone, but had Harrison out in front. I haven't seen too many curveballs. Maybe by design after all the curveballs the Pirates saw with Jimmy Nelson on the mound last night.
With in the air to left. Plenty of room for Chris Davis. Long battle, but Loesch wins it. Out number 1. Harrison retired. Now Loesch will have another crack at Gregory Polanco. Polanco has been a tough out to say the least. He is 4 for 5 in this series. 1 for 2 tonight with a walk.
And like we said, I mean, he and Marte, very streaky hitters. You just hope that when you get to town, they're in one of those down stretches. Not swinging the bats all that well, but they're not. They're both seeing it pretty well.
It's a Pirates team that last year was 2nd in the National League in on-base percentage. So you talked about it with the Brewers, but you have to think if you're Clint Hurdle that struggling as his group was coming into this series, that it would be able to get the bats out and start doing some damage. And they have 6 runs last night, 3 in the first inning tonight. There's a ground ball to Hector Gomez at second. 2 up, 2 down in the 5th.
There's a good pitch right there, off speed. Maybe that's the way to attack this young man. Fastballs he's been hitting pretty well, but that was a good off speed pitch, had him out in front. Well, you know he can hit the fastball, but the changeup gets him here. Down in the zone, down the middle. You get the swing when it's over the plate. And he gets the weak ground ball.
Now Andrew McCutchen. McCutchen walked and scored in the first. Popped out to Maldonado in the third. Missing away, 2-0. Brewers will have the top of the order coming up in the 6th.
Well, Kyle Loesch knows as well as anybody how well McCutchen does against him, and doesn't really appear that he's too interested in throwing him strikes here.
Being very careful.
He'll be swinging if he likes it.
Four-pitch walk for Andrew McCutchen. So he's on with 2 men out for the cleanup hitter Neil Walker.
There's just some guys in the lineup, and McCutchen's that guy for Loesch, so he just doesn't want to throw any strikes.
Don't mess around.
He was able to get him his last time up on a foul pop-up, but he's walked him twice. Don't let McCutchen beat you, and that's what McCutchen has in mind tonight.
Another dangerous hitter coming up, and Neil Walker is McCutchen off the bag at first. Fouls out of play, 0-1.
Had a pretty good lead out there. And McCutchen normally a base stealer, but with that bum knee he has, kind of a tender knee. Missed the game in Miller Park because of it. Might not be running.
That came out of the first game of that series a week ago Friday. Sat out Saturday and came in Sunday and hit a big home run. Walker tonight 0 for 2. Ground balls to first and second. Back in the lineup tonight. Was not in the lineup last night. Came in as a pinch hitter, but talked about the scheduled day off. Trying to keep track of the workload of these frontline players.
Well, not only give your starters a day off, but give your bench players an opportunity to get 4 at bats. That's important as well. Got to keep them sharp. You can't have them sit for 2 weeks and expect much out of them.
You see it in basketball, and you get the impression that in baseball, you get some managers who are starting to adopt that philosophy of just resting your regulars from time to time. I know it's been done forever, but maybe more so and more measured this year. A ground ball, Segura unable to make the play. That would have been an awfully tough one to make anyway. Knocks it down. Runners at first and second.
Yeah, he's able to get there, but in the transfer, he loses it. Not sure if he had a play anyway. Little cue shot off the end of the bat. Walker getting down that line in pretty good shape, and that would have been a close play at best. Not sure if we would have been able to get the out anyway.
So the Pirates have runners at first and second for a hitter who is heating up in Starling Marte. That 2-run knock in the first inning, grounded to short in the third. Let's see if Loesch can get out of this. There's a strike to the left fielder.
He had a fastball off of Jonathan Broxton last night for a 2-run homer. Second deck out in left field. Probably want to avoid a fastball. Changeup be a good pitch against this guy.
Yeah, they measured that blast at 451 feet. One ball, one strike.
Always looking to throw to the bases. You have a good arm, you show it off, right?
And he has one. Keeping an eye on the runners. McCutchen at second, Walker at first. A pitch count at 82 here in the 5th inning for Loesch. Go back to last night to that home run that Marte hit. You don't see many go up there.
No, you don't. Second deck out there and left. It's a knuckle blast just to hit it out of the ballpark, let alone go back there.
And let us hope there is no repeat performance here for Starling Marte. Both of his home runs have come against the Brewers this season. And there's a drive deep to left, and it is gone. Third of the year for Marte, and the Pirates break it open.
Yeah, that's a killer right there. 2 outs and nobody on. A walk, an infield hit, and Marte hits an off-speed pitch out of the ballpark.
So much for rooting against the repeat.
Yep, left it middle in, and he knocked it out of here. Line drive bullet. I think it was a changeup, but he left it inside.
Starling Marte's having a night. 5 RBIs for the left fielder. Proof positive that slumps can be broken. He was in one. Not anymore. Pedro Alvarez at the plate.
Boy, 2 outs, nobody on. Loesch was looking pretty good in this inning.
A walk to McCutchen. Infield hit for Walker. 3-run bomb from Marte.
Yeah, he had the right idea, the changeup. He just put it in a bad spot, middle in. That's the last place you want to change up. Down and away, that's a spot for a change.
Strike 3 call. Inning over. But the Pirates put 3 more on the board. A 3-run blast from Marte. Pirates lead 6-1.
Ladies and gentlemen,
runs the Pirates have here tonight. Marte, a 2-run single, a 3-run homer. 6-1 Pittsburgh moving at the top half of the 6th inning. Brewers now into catch-up mode as Ryan Braun will lead things off, which brings us to tonight's Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Ronnie hitting top of the order for the first time in his big league career, and a leadoff single to start the game. Came around to score.
Yeah, Brewers are only 3 hits, one by Braun, the one you saw right there, and then 2 singles by Gene Segura. Other than that, Jeff Locke has pretty much had his way with this Brewers offense.
7 in a row, 12 of the last 13, but maybe that's a streak buster right there. Ryan Braun with his second hit of the night. He goes opposite field. Let's see if that's a start of something big for the Crew.
Yeah, good approach for Ryan Braun, just getting on top of that high pitch and serving it into right field, beating the shift. And Neil Walker playing up the middle on Braun. Not sure why you do that, because Braun very capable of hitting the baseball in that direction out into right field.
There's Gene Segura, a couple of singles, sharply hit, and that will be a 6-3 double play. Just like that, 2 outs, nobody on.
Yep, hit it right on the nose. But unfortunately, right at Jordy Mercer, who took it himself. Yep, 2 hops and said, I'm going to take this one myself, and an easy flip over to first base.
Jeff Locke says, yep, we got it going tonight. There's Jonathan Lucroy. Luke brought Braun home with a fly ball in the first inning. Just 1 step forward, 2 steps back for this team offensively.
Yeah, hit the ball hard, but right at the shortstop, and they turn 2.
And Mercer's not going to throw it away. He's not committed a throwing error since the 3rd week of September 2013. It's 149 starts.
Yeah, pretty consistent. This Pirate team doesn't throw away too many baseballs. They've committed 2 errors this year.
How about that? They've turned things around in that department for Clint Hurdle.
They were last in team defense a year ago and still made the playoff.
Got in as a wild card, 2nd straight year, the postseason for the Pirates. Quick exit as the Giants came in here and won 8-0. Pirates went for it at the end of the season. They were trying to get a tiebreaker. They needed a win plus help. It did not pan out that way. Garrett Cole started. Hurdle was putting his chips on the middle there, trying to force a tiebreaker, but that didn't happen. And meanwhile, the Giants, they knew they were a wild card. They had their rotation set. Bumgarner started, and that was that.
Yeah, big difference, right? Not able to use Garrett Cole in that game, and made a big difference.
I believe he called it human analytics. They just go ahead and give it a try. Kind of admire it, actually. They knew they were in, and they had home field. Sometimes that doesn't matter, especially with a team like the Giants. They just have a switch.
Wild card seems to do pretty well in the postseason.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. 88 wins the regular season. It got you in, and then you got hot. There's a bouncing ball to Josh Harrison. And that's it for the Brewers in the 6th. The leadoff single for Braun, a double play, a ground ball. And it remains 6-1 Pittsburgh. Did it for the Buccos as well as the Toronto Blue Jays.
That's pretty impressive. I mean, to have 1 3-home run game is pretty nice, but having 2.
Yeah, that's some rare air.
Yeah, it is.
Let's see what Darnell did in his career. He joins company that includes Johnny Mize, Mark McGwire, Babe Ruth. Thought I'd slide him in third there.
It's always good to be on the list with those guys, particularly the Babe.
Darryl Strawberry, Mark Teixeira. Only 14 of them could make that claim. And Darnell Coles is one of them. Just the little bit I've been around, he's just strikes. He's always upbeat.
Yeah.
This team is, you know, trying to get it going offensively, but there's that mentality that you have to have in this game, and it's easier said than done. But every day, the beauty of this sport is you get another chance real quick.
Yeah. That's why you don't get too excited when things are going well, and you can't get too down when things are not. And at least that's what you hope's going on in that Brewers dugout, keeping their heads up.
Francisco Cervelli, count of 2-2. Struck out and singled to right. And Loesch gets Cervelli. Out number 1 here in the 6th.
Yeah, that's where you want that breaking pitch with 2 strikes. It doesn't need to be a strike. You can just see in Loesch's face how frustrated he is, how upset he is. There's a good pitch off the outside corner.
And it just works out. It doesn't matter what sport you're talking about when you're having all kinds of problems winning games. 1 or 2 mistakes, 1 or 2 little things become big things, and it just haunts you.
Yep, the 3-run home run has been the problem for him against the Pirates.
Well, last weekend at Miller Park against McCutchen, and tonight Starling Marte in the 5th with a 3-run blast. And it was after he had retired the first 2 of the inning. Loesch got Josh Harrison on a fly ball, Gregory Polanco on a ground ball, but then he walked McCutchen, Neil Walker with an infield single, and Marte the big fly. Last April, when this team could do very little wrong, it's just flipped. Going through the first couple of weeks, at least to this point, still only in the 6th inning. There's a ground ball, nice play, Hector Gomez, and he'll retire Jordy Mercer for the 2nd out.
He was able to angle himself back nicely toward the outfield to play that good hop, got the long hop as opposed to trying to play the in-between or short hop. And those good soft hands, washed away, he angles back, gives himself a little bit more time and makes that look easy.
Jeff Locke, the hitter. Fly to center, and a strikeout victim his last trip. He does have 12 hits in his young career, getting 1 this season. These teams wrap up the series tomorrow afternoon, and then the Brewers are home for a week-long homestand. 4 against the Reds and 3 next weekend against the St. Louis Cardinals. There's a bouncer to Gomez, and that'll do it for the Pirates here in the 6th. Loesch sets him down in order. Chris Davis will get it started in the 7th.
Looking for the best deal on Brewers tickets? Brewers Dynamic Deals is for you. It highlights the best seats at the lowest prices. You can be sure you're getting the great value. You find dynamic deals starting as low as $9 a ticket. Visit Brewers.com/deals.
Well, a crew with work to do against a pitcher who is in rhythm. Jeff Locke very stingy here tonight. Let's take a look at the Powerball home run leaderboard going back to last year. We'll see a couple of those guys here this inning. Chris Davis, who will lead things off at 22 long balls last year, and Aramis Ramirez at 15. It'll be Davis, Ramirez, and Hector Gomez here in the top of the 7th. Chris has struck out twice tonight. Hot-hitting left fielder has been cooled off. Rockies, he talked his last at bat. It's just some pitchers just kind of bottle you up a little bit.
Yeah.
And Locke is one of those who just gives Chris a lot of trouble.
Yeah, for whatever reason, you just don't see the baseball very well out of his hand. Everybody else could be swinging the bat and getting hits, and for some reason, Jeff Locke just kind of befuddles, bewilders Chris Davis. Gets frustrating. You always feel like you go up there and you have an 0-2 count on you.
Here's the 1-1. Davis swings and fouls out of play. You have the shift on for Davis, knowing that he's been spraying the ball to right field quite a bit. However, the infield is swung around, expecting him to pull.
They may have given you an indication as to how Locke's going to pitch him.
Here comes the 1-2. Locke trying to beat the Brewers for the second time within a week. Well, there's a bouncer to short. That's Jordy Mercer. And that is out number 1. Brewers with just 4 hits here tonight.
All singles. And Jeff Locke's pitch count in pretty good shape. 81 pitches as he works here in the 7th.
Kyle Loesch at 101 through 6. Brewers bullpen starting to get active. Ramirez, a ground ball to short and a ground ball to second. Lone run for Milwaukee coming in the first. Pirates with 3 in the first, 3 more in the 5th. You see Rick Kranich talking with Kyle Loesch as Tyler Thornburg gets loose.
Yeah, you got to figure, given that pitch count, it's going to be Thornburg to work in the 7th. And you might see him finish the game unless the Brewers get something going.
1-2 to Ramirez. Soft liner, and that's caught by Walker on the shift. 2 men out.
Can't buy a hit.
No, they cannot. During the month of April, Fox Sports Wisconsin wants you to share your excitement and passion for Wisconsin sports using the hashtag #AprilMadeMeDoIt. Send us a photo of your family decked out in team gear or your face painted in team colors. You get the idea. Just as long as it shows your enthusiasm for your hometown team. And follow at FS Wisconsin on Twitter to find out how you can win an April Made Me Do It prize pack. Oh, the defensive shifts.
Yeah.
How effective they are.
It's cost Aramis Ramirez 2 hits tonight. You ever had your face painted? Be honest.
I've had a lot of people tell me I should. How about that?
Not makeup. I'm talking about face paint. You know, like the kids do.
No, I'm trying, man. Maybe in college once or twice.
You never had a big red W put on your face for a game?
I have not.
No.
And I feel like the exception to the rule where I hang out a good portion of the year.
Right. No kidding. Everybody else does, right?
Pretty much. A whole lot of red at Indianapolis a couple weeks ago. There's a fly ball to right. Polanco tracking, and it's another 1-2-3 inning for Jeff Locke and the Pittsburgh Pirates. 7th inning stretch, 6-1 Buccos. Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. And by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. Pirates moving to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Luis Jimenez now in the game for the Brewers at second. Ron Renneke going to the bullpen as Tyler Thornburg on the mound.
Which means it's a double switch, and Renneke thinking that Thornburg should be able to finish this one tonight unless the Brewers get something going and get close. Thornburg in his 5th appearance. Good numbers for Tyler. He did give up 6 unearned runs against these Pirates back at Miller Park, but overall a .318 earned run average.
Will face the top of the order. Harrison, Polanco, and McCutchen. First pitch swing and a foul ball. Kyle Loesch works 6 and gives up 6 runs. And Starling Marte, the main villain, driving in 5, a 2-run single and a 3-run homer. Harrison 1 for 3 tonight, a single and 2 fly balls. Thornburg scoots him back 1-1. So to complete the thought, no, you were asking about face painting. I can't recall. I would assume you have never had that done.
No. Not that I'm aware, anyway.
Not back in the college days?
No.
No? Okay.
Wasn't that big a deal when I was in college.
We're about the same age, so
right.
it wasn't a big deal either. It is now, right?
Yeah, it is.
Get on TV and everything. It's a beautiful thing. 2-2 to Josh Harris. Try to cover a variety of topics here. Sharply hit, but right to Segura. 1 out.
There's been a lot of that tonight for both teams, right?
Yes.
Line drive outs, hard hit balls. I think more for the Brewers than the Pirates.
We'll see the shifts come into play again.
Yeah, that baseball, that ball that Gomez hit to end this top of the seventh was hit pretty well. Polanco had to go back, hit it well, but able to run it down.
There's Gregory Polanco. RBI double and scored in the first. It's worth noting he appeared in just 89 games last year. Started the year at AAA, Indianapolis. But his career is just starting.
It's a very athletic outfield here in Pittsburgh. They can hit, they can run, and they can hit for power.
With the ground you cover in this outfield, that is a big plus. There's a ground ball to Jimenez, and there are 2 men out.
Hey, Willie Peralta makes his bobblehead debut next Sunday, April 26th. The Brewers will take on the Cardinals in the series finale of their 3-game set. And all fans at Miller Park will get a Willie Peralta bobblehead courtesy of U.S. Cellular. Reserve your spot today at Brewers.com.
It's a good looking bobblehead. And somewhere back there is the real life Willie Peralta as Thornburg goes inside the McCutchen. And in fact, it did clip him.
Yeah, got him. A little glancing blow, and Thornburg and back-to-back hitters. I should say Harrison had to jump back, and now McCutchen. That one just grazed his jersey, I think. Well, you see where Maldonado was setting up. He was setting up away. He just missed his spot poorly.
So a hit batsman, McCutchen the runner at first with 2 men out. And the cleanup hitter Neil Walker. You know things are going your way. The Pirates in the 5th. First 2 were retired. McCutchen walked, and then Walker reached on an infield single. And that set the stage for Marte's big 3-run homer.
Yeah, McCutchen's walked twice tonight. He scored both times.
Innings 1 and 5. Thornburg ready with the 0-1. Thornburg fighting his way back from injury. He was off to such a terrific start last year. About this time last year, right at this time last year in April.
Yep.
13 straight appearances where he gave up nothing.
Had a long stretch of consecutive batters that he retired and made it look easy. Then he got hurt.
Then you just hold your breath. No one more than him about whether he was going to be able to come back and how effective would he be. A very valuable piece to this Brewers bullpen. As a matter of fact, what Stretch Rock is talking about, he had 13 straight scoreless appearances, and in a 7-outing stretch, set down 21 straight.
Yeah, right.
His final appearance of the season happened against these Pirates here in Pittsburgh in early June. And he gets Walker on the chains. Two men out, or actually out number 3, excuse me, in the inning. So good work from Thornburg after 7, 6-1 Pittsburgh. Book your stay now. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Milwaukee Brewers and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Milwaukee Brewers, LLC. Work to do for the Crew, down 6-1 as Jeff Locke gave up that one run in the first inning, and he has been in shutdown mode since. There's 4 hits allowed. Martin Maldonado leading off 7, 8, and 9 in the order.
Yeah, Pirates only have 6 hits. They have the big blow from Marte with 2 outs. The 3-run blast. Big night at the ballpark again.
Yeah, he's enjoying a very good series. Marte. Maldonado down 2 strikes. Locke last year did not complete a game, but on 4 occasions he worked 8 innings.
And you never know this early in the season. This could be his last inning. We figure he's going to be around 100 pitches at least by the time this inning's over.
Bullpen activity for the Pirates. It's Archimedes Caminero. And as much as Locke is a pitcher who's not going to bring it particularly hard, Caminero will.
Change up low. Yeah, Caminero can bring it. Upper 90s, 98.
Touched 100
at Miller Park, right?
He did. He's getting ready. 3-2 to Maldonado. A bouncer to first. Alvarez with the stab and goes to the cover and block out. Number 1.
Pretty good play right there by Alvarez. The converted third baseman had all kinds of throwing problems at third base. Yeah, good hands backing up, backpedaling on this one. And a good flip over to Locke. You could hear Cervelli yelling at Locke, get over.
Yeah, you're right about the throwing errors. That was almost exclusively the issue with Alvarez at third last year.
What do you have, back-to-back years with 30 errors at third base, 30 or more?
And he had a foot injury. They moved him over because he has a very productive bat. Homered 18 times last year. 2 years ago, he doubled that. Drove in 100. Jason Rogers now at the plate. He doubled last night, and he hits this well to left field, but Marte is there, and there are 2 men out. And now for our home run count. Presented by Powerball home run count. Brewers still stuck on 3 here this season. Gene Segura. There's Carlos Gomez, who's now on the mend with the hamstring injury.
It's been a while since the Brewers have hit one. And looking at the media guide on Alvarez, he had back-to-back years of 27 errors, not 30.
I believe last year all but 1 were throwing errors. There's a fly ball hit back into left field, and near the track, Marte runs it down, and that is it for the Brewers. Again, retired in order. Still 6-1, Pittsburgh. All right, Jamie, thank you very much. And here is Starling Marte having that big night. Tyler Thornburg out for another inning of work. Gerardo Parra now in the game in center field. Jason Rogers pinch hitting for Logan Schaefer, the top half of this frame. Marte, a 2-run single in the first and a 3-run blast in the fifth. Six and 0 for Pittsburgh. A run on just 4 hits for the Brewers. And Matt Garza and Garrett Cole tomorrow. We have more of a power matchup on the mound.
Yeah, Garrett Cole could run it up there pretty good. Garza, the winning pitcher in St. Louis.
Ruined the Cardinals' home opener. The tough sledding since on this trip for the Crew. Bouncing ball to short. Segura, 1 out. Tyler Thornburg went through the 7th. Hit Andrew McCutchen, but no damage done. And he retires Marte to start the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, the Brewers 2 long men. They're 2 long relievers, middle relievers, kind of spot starters. Blazek, Thornburg have been pretty good. And you take away those 6 unearned runs that Thornburg allowed, and that earned run average in the low 3s. Blazek's been good in his appearances this year. Blazek appeared in last night's game.
Hey, you look for bright spots in there. A couple of them you just mentioned.
The only issue that you have is the more you see, or the more you have to see Thornburg and Blazek, that ordinarily means nothing good's happening for the Crew.
Yeah, it means some trouble early.
He's not part of that. They're not part of that winning scenario, at least at this point, for Ron Roenicke.
Like Jeff Lott's night's about to wrap up, or has wrapped up. A good night it has been for him. The ball, 2 strikes to Pedro Alvarez.
Yeah, the Brewers have had 1 base runner since the 3rd inning.
And that didn't last long. Ryan Braun led off the 6th with a single. And Gene Segura hit into a double play. Sharply hit, but right to Jordy Mercer. Turned it into a 6-3 double play.
And actually, two base runners since the 1st.
Yeah, Segura singled in the 3rd, and then Braun in the 6th. And it started promising for the Brewers. A run in that first frame. Alvarez goes down swinging. 2nd strikeout for Thornburg. Let's take a look at what's on tap. Presented by Miller Lights. Get started at noon tomorrow on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Matt Garza, Garrett Cole. Some power pitching tomorrow. Garza, as we mentioned, victorious on Monday in St. Louis. Cole 1-0. Our coverage starts at noon on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
14 punch-outs for Cole in 11 innings.
Francisco Cervelli. First pitch swinging back up the middle. 2nd hit of the night for the Pirates catcher.
Yeah, good night. 2 hits, 2 strikeouts. So when he makes contact, he makes the most of it.
2 outs and a man on for Jordy Mercer. Brewers will have the top of the order in the 9th. Just checking us out, Ryan Braun for the first time in his major league career batting in the leadoff spot. Mercer chops it foul. Count evens, a ball, a strike.
And not sure you're going to see Ryan in that leadoff spot tomorrow. You got a right-hander on the mound for the Pirates. I see Parr back in the lineup. Lynn back in the lineup. Maybe more of a conventional batting order for Ron Roenicke. It's a good changeup from Thornburg. He's always had a good changeup. 95 on the fastball when he uncorks a good one. And here's the changeup, the change of pace.
It's his second inning of work. 1-2 to Mercer. Fastball upstairs. Cervelli, the runner at first. And the 2-2. Hit sharply but foul. Ready again with the 2-2 pitch. And that bounces up there, and that goes all the way to the screen.
Yeah, right over Martin Maldonado. Held on to it just a little too long.
So the Pirates with a runner in scoring position, a full count to the Pittsburgh shortstop. See if Thornburg can close out this 8th inning and give his team 2 innings. Shutout ball out of the bullpen. Not yet. As Mercer draws a walk.
Brewer pitchers have had a tough time closing out innings. 2 outs, nobody on. Pirates start mounting some rallies.
The 5th inning, the most damaging. After Harrison and Polanco were retired, McCutchen and Walker reached, and Marte hit the 3-run homer. A little scouting report now as Jung Ho Kang will come in to pinch hit. Maldonado conferring with Tyler Thornburg. Kang from the Korean Baseball Organization, and last year put up huge numbers. 40 homers. He drove in 117, hit .356 in 117 games.
Not bad, huh?
Not bad at all. 4-year deal with the Pirates. He's a serious hitter.
And you got to wonder how much he's going to play this year, right? 4-year deal. Put him on the bench.
He played almost exclusively at short in the Korean Baseball Organization. He can play second. He can play third.
Again, when's he going to play, right?
True. How do you fit him in? And how much do you fit him in? They have a good ball club right now.
He's not going to play second. He's not going to play third. I guess a little insurance in case Jordy Mercer is not able to hit enough.
I'm thinking this a nice option for Clint Hurdle. Kang, the first position player from the KBO to join a big league club here in the States. The question is, how do those 40 home runs translate to here? It's a respected league, though, for a baseball organization. 2-1 pitch. Big cut.
I don't care where you play. You hit over 40 home runs, you can hit.
I'd say it would get your attention. Watch him at batting practice today. He can launch.
Yeah, that standard batting stroke that a lot of the Asian players incorporate, that high leg kick, balancing on that back leg. It's their way of staying back. Didn't do it that time.
This is hit into shallow left. Chris Davis drifting in. That's 2 good innings of work out of the bullpen for Tyler Thornburg. Last chance for the Brewers. Ryan Braun trying to start something big. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Book your stay now. 6-1 Pirates here in the 9th. Ryan Braun set to lead things off, which brings us to our Marshfield Clinic shining moment of the game. Brawny hitting in the leadoff spot for the first time as a big leaguer, and he has delivered. Started the game. That at-bat came around to score. He is 2 for 3 tonight. Doing what he can. He was excited about this, moving to the top of the order for however long it will be. Trying to do something, and Brawny 2 for 3.
You never know how long it's going to be. Segura's been leading off in the absence of Carlos Gomez.
Sean Rodriguez in the game at first base, and Archimedes Caminero on the mound. And he can bring the heat, and he plunks Ryan Braun.
Well, Ryan does the classy thing and just takes first base. That's all about Thornburg hitting Andrew McCutchen. And the umpire, Corey Blazer, warns both benches.
Yep. And McCutchen got just clipped.
Not intentional.
No.
By any stretch.
There's Gene Segura. Wendy's at the plate tonight.
There's no love lost between the Brewers and Pirates.
No, that is safe to say.
And I think over the years, the Pirates have had a lot of frustration losing a lot of games to Milwaukee.
Well, these two teams had a pretty good rumble last April here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Russell Martin involved, Travis Snyder, Garrett Cole, Carlos Gomez.
Yep. Maldonado
ended up getting suspended.
Segura continues to swing a pretty good bat. 2 for 3 night.
Well, the one good thing about that, I mean, if there's anything good about getting hit, it wasn't up around the head. I mean, it was down low, down around the legs. Guys can stomach that. Yeah, it's when you get up around the chin, the face area, that's when guys get a little bit irritated.
Segura lifts one to right, and this will carry into the seats. Nothing in 2.
Always good when the guy gets drilled and the fans start cheering.
Yeah, always nice, right?
Yeah.
It's something you remember. Caminero last year appeared in 6 games with the Marlins. There's a ground ball to Rodriguez. He'll flip to Mercer for 1, and that's all they'll get. 6-3 in the force play at second. 1 out here in the ninth.
Good play by Rodriguez. Almost threw it away. Jody Mercer had to stretch and catch it on the backhand. You could see he's kind of telling Jody Mercer, I know I made a bad throw. I need to get it higher.
Rodriguez, the utility player, super utility player, if you will, for the Pirates. After 5 years with the Rays. Here's Lucroy, responsible for the 1 Brewers run. Fly ball in the first that brought Braun home. He's still fighting that batting average, trying to get that going in the other direction.
.100 miles an hour. Yep. We saw him throw some breaking balls for strikes too at Miller Park.
All about control, they say with him. He's trying to get more of it.
And that's why he hasn't been in the big leagues sooner.
He'll get his share of strikeouts, but he will serve up his share of walks. Most of last year he was in New Orleans, appearing in 42 of his 48 games last season down there. He gets Lucroy swinging. 2 men out here in the ninth. Down to their final out. Chris Davis. And they come to their feet here in Pittsburgh. 33,000 plus. Right on the edge of 100 there. 99 from Caminero. Got to turn around at some point for this team, but very quiet night again, unfortunately, for the Brewers tonight.
And they keep waiting, right?
Segura going and defensive indifference. So Segura at second. One and one to Davis. Takes something off. 1 and 2. He has some nasty stuff. Archimedes Caminero. After Jeff Locke worked 8 innings, gave up just 4 hits, struck out 6. Ron Renicky shuffled the lineup tonight. We'll see how he plays it tomorrow. The right-hander Garrett Cole on the mound. The 2-2. This will carry into the seats. Renicky before the game saying he had an even crazier lineup than if you thought this was unusual. He had something even more different in mind.
Didn't share it with us.
Nope.
Unfortunately, that would have been fun to learn that.
He's trying to put the pieces together that can get this offense kick-started. Again, the 2-2. Davis hanging tough.
Yeah, that one right down the middle. That's the one he wanted, down in the zone. Plenty of the plate. You don't have much time to decide what you want to do when you're throwing near 100 miles an hour. Less than a half a second.
Here we go again, the 2-2. Line drive to left, a base hit. Here comes Segura, and the Brewers pull within 4. RBI single for Chris Davis here tonight.
That's good payback. You hit Braun and give him an earned run. Nice at bat for Chris Davis. And he continues a good run of reaching base. Got the fastball and able to get on top of it this time. And line it into left with the big lead. Marte just waits back on it.
So they're still punching. Aramis Ramirez. 2 ground balls and a line out last trip. And this is popped up. And Cervelli runs out of room. Good to see on a night where again the crew's struggling offensively, but Gene Segura reaching a couple of times. Chris Davis getting an RBI single. Those two continue to just do what they can. Ryan Braun a couple of hits, but not much otherwise. Runner going, pitch swung on and missed. And again, they'll just give him second. Nothing in 2 to Ramirez. He'll end it on a strikeout. Brewers pick up a run, but not nearly enough as the Pirates now take the first 2 games of this series. Starling Marte with a 5 RBI night en route to a 6-2 win for Pittsburgh. So the struggles continue here for Ron Renicky's Brewers. 6-2 Pittsburgh wins it. Let's throw it to our Fox Sports Wisconsin studio. We're standing by is Jamie Hirsch.